Howdy folks. So today I have two microphones. This is the blue Snowball and this is the blue Snowball Ice, and by a random turn of events I happen to now own both of these. This is the sort of the original model, and this is the lower sort of stripped down to a cost version. And I thought today I'd do super fast review, a little bit of a comparison, and then we tear this one to bits just to see what's inside. And I'll be sure that this is basically the same innards. You know, we're probably going to see, I expect that there's just a few things that are not populated in this one just to get the cost down. Fortunately, they don't fit well in shot here. So we'll look at the original first. So this is the blue Snowball. This is the chrome plated version. It's plastic. It's just got that metallic look to it. I must say these are nice looking microphones. They've got a little square red LED to tell you it's on. A little piece of tape around the edge that says blue microphones on it. And made in China. The back, it's got USB-B for the connection, because this is a USB microphone. It has its own DAC in it, which runs at 44.1 kilohertz, 16-bit, and that is fixed. You cannot change that. And the Snowball has a switch, 1, 2, 3, and these modes are cardioid, I think minus 10 dB cardioid, and then an omnidirectional. And you can switch that on the fly. The stand is, it's the same kind of plastic here, which is screwed together, and it has these little, they are rubber balls on metal legs. This is all metal, and then this twists to lock this up and down, and the whole thing can get taller or shorter, and it all unscrews from the swivel base. And the Snowball Ice looks the same. They don't offer this, I think, in any other colors or textures. It's just white plastic. The front is the same, the light's the same, the band is the same. The only difference on the back is it doesn't have a switch. This is cardioid fixed. You can't change that. Audio output is still 44.1 at 16-bit, same thing. And they cheap out on the stand. Instead, you get this all plastic, god-awful. This stand is crap. I mean, it's worth the extra like $20 just to buy this just for the stand alone. It's got these little rubber booties on here. The whole thing is flimsy as all get out, and it comes apart so that it sort of swivels. And again, it comes out the base, same deal there. So this one, fixed height. This one is adjustable height. It's a lot taller. So, I mean, if you're on a desk, this is going to work much nicer. I mean, this is one of those things that I would probably never have bought this if I had known all these things. I ended up buying this, and then I ended up realizing my mistake, and I bought this instead, and I couldn't get rid of this, so I just now have two. And one of the things that I learned with this is I thought, oh, it would be great, I'll run multiple ones of these when I have other people and I'm doing a podcast or something, but no, you can't really run more than one of these because they're USB. And with USB, they have their own DACs, they have their own clocks, and because they have their own clocks, you can't record more than one source at a time in things like Audacity and stuff. They don't support that. And there's really weird stuff you can do with jack and other stuff to make that happen, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. I tried it, I couldn't get it to work, so anyway, I have a bunch of useless microphones. So this one, I mean, this microphone is quite nice. It's not what you ever listen to me with on these videos. I just use the camera's internal microphone because I'm way too lazy to mux this in. Although these are very nice microphones. They are worth what you pay for them, especially if you're doing home recording, podcasts, that kind of stuff. But anyway, other than the fact that they're good microphones, I'm not going to do any more review than that. That's not interesting. So I want to tear this apart and see how they build it, and we'll get a good idea of what's in the other one. I don't want to take the other one apart because I actually do use it. This one's kind of just sitting there, and it's got looks like it's got 4 Phillips screws on the back, and they're really recessed. So the only screwdriver I could find that could get them is this stupid Mastercraft, automatic screwdriver. I've gotten to the point where I'm so lazy. I'm not even gonna unscrew things anymore. This, by the way, isn't a terribly great screwdriver. It's not worth the like $10. It really isn't. It can't unscrew crap. It's way too slow. If they'd have stuck a bigger motor in it, it'd be actually worth buying. You get my point. And if you're wondering why you're seeing this, I just don't really bother trying to edit my videos. I try to do them all one shot. That way I don't have to encode them twice. One of these days my videos will get long enough I'll have to do that. Okay. Damn, those are pretty long screws. I don't think they're all the way out yet. Unless this sticker is really, I think that might be it. I think the sticker is really on there. This might be another one of those products held together by the sticker. I'm seeing more and more of these every day. Okay, note to self. That is not held on by anything more than hope. How is that even held on? I think there's a slight, yeah, there's a tiny, I don't even know if you can tell, there's a tiny taper on the sides, and just the sheer force, the clamping force of this holds it on there, and then it can move around. I would have expected pins or something on that. That's very interesting. Okay. Okay, that scared the shit out of me. I hope this label goes back on, because it doesn't look like it will. Okay. So it's coming apart now, which is good. We've got a loose board here. There we go. Put those off to the side there. Okay, so we've got some connectors. Do they come off? Oh, they're zip tied. That's wonderful. Okay, so the back, I'm going to try and do this without taking the whole thing apart. So the back is foam. It's just run-of-the-mill black foam. About 1/4 of an inch thick or so. And there's your mesh, which covers the entire inside. And it's got little cutouts for the screw posts. And we've got just a ribbon cable, which they've zip tied down to this connector here. And this is a separate earthing wire. This red wire here is actually, I'm sure that goes to the metal that surrounds the connector, and that passes onto a metal ring here, which is what the heft of this microphone comes from. This is a heavy microphone. They really did a good job with the anti-vibration, is what I'm going to assume that was from. Oh, I really wish that these connectors came off. I really wish they hadn't zip tied that. I really don't want to have to run to my other room to get pliers. Okay, so this is a very bare circuit board. I mean, that's not a lot on there. So we've got a couple unpopulated components in the corner here. Capacitor, very, very small surface mount caps. So in the center we've got a 32 kilohertz crystal, which is obviously going to be for our oh no, actually that's not a 32 kilohertz crystal, that is a 12 megahertz crystal. It's just in the tuning fork package, and that's sort of unusual. I would have expected a different package, but I guess whatever. And we have that chip. What is that? I can't quite read that. CM, where's the CW? Let me just take a look in the light here. That is CW6327A. And I don't know that marking off the top of my head. I don't know what company makes that. We've got some kind of strange stuff going on this connector here. I mean, I would have expected, it's not enough pins to be a JTAG, like there even would be JTAG on something like this, but they've manually solder bridged most of those pins together. In fact, does it look like they've, I almost want to think that there's like a lead that's just laid across the board that they've soldered on to pin 1 there. I'm not sure if that's like a hardware mod. I mean, that sort of makes me want to take the other one apart just to see if they've bodged the same thing on there, but I'm not taking the other one apart. I'm just not doing it. And there's another tiny chip on there. And I'm trying to see any markings on it. Oh god, the lighting's not good. That's got some very, very faint markings. I can't make it up. It's not a very big chip, so I'm just going to assume that it's not super critical. And there's absolutely bugger all on the back of that board. Nothing whatsoever. So we've got the front, which I think actually just lifts out. It's kind of got that I want to come out feeling. Yes. So on the front we've got the same foam, and it's all mesh, exactly the same as the back. And we've got the LED right there. I mean, it's modular. It could be modular if I'd brought my stupid wire cutters. We've got a plastic, another one of those metallized looking plastic inserts which just sort of slides in, and that's for retaining the stand. And then we've got the actual microphone assembly itself, which has sort of started to come apart. So we've got a big formed foam block here, which I believe, is it glued? It's not glued, it's just pressure fit, which is nice. I can remove that. Where is it? I don't want to rip this. No, it's actually, this is actually attached on top of it. It's actually, this is actually, the foam goes around the screw holes on all sides, so I can't just lift that out. But anyway, you can see there's this plastic, these plastic pins. Actually, no, those are metal pins. So you've just got metal standoffs with some sort of like nylon screws that go through with these strange heads, so you actually can't remove it. And then there's this rubbery plastic, and there's a hole here, and obviously, as you saw, there is the electric microphone capsule here, which has the 3 terminals, of course. And that was seated in here before I sort of ripped it out. And there's an empty one, and that's most certainly where the full ice, or the non-ice model also has another capsule. So that's how they get the omnidirectional, I believe, and I think that it has 2. I'm not sure if they need that for the omnidirectional, or if they just, actually, yeah, they would need it for the omnidirectional. It's possible that it faces backwards in the in the ice, if I'm thinking about it correctly, because I think that's the way the cardioid works, is it cancels out noise from the back on the I honestly don't remember enough about microphones. I'm not sure which way it would face, but there's definitely another capsule in the full version. But yeah, this is a pretty hefty piece of aluminum. I mean, like 90% of your weight is this plate right here. which it's attached quite nicely to it. So I'm trying to think where they would, because I'm 99% sure they use the same board. Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to stop doing these videos in one take because this is kind of disgraceful. So they attached it here, which is a 3-terminal connector, and I don't see any other 3-terminal connectors. I mean, there's J3 here, which is 2 terminals, and then there's this big bodged connector here. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they connect the other electric capsule in the other module. It might be that they actually connect here, because these traces appear to go through to this connector. So I'm going to assume that they probably have sort of a dual capsule module that goes into the other one, and it plugs in with one cable, and then they probably bridge this out, and it's the opposite. Maybe so they can use a smaller connector, which is cheaper. I mean, that's my best guess, just first glance. This is the first time I've taken this apart, so I'm doing this all on the fly. So I mean, it's well integrated. It's all just one DSP, and so that's obviously got USB support directly on it, because you can see it goes directly out to USB. So it's some sort of all-in-one, off-the-shelf DAC or ADC. Okay, so we can assume what's in the other one, and now I've got to put this all back together again. Hope it still works. So hopefully that was sort of interesting. I just hadn't seen one of these videos on YouTube, so I thought I'd take mine apart because I was getting a bit bored. I think I'll start calling these videos Random Teardown. We'll call this Random Teardown number 1. And then every time I take something apart, we'll just increment that number, and hopefully within a year we can get a pretty good decent number of videos. So, thanks for watching.